Good day, everyone. I am Teddy E. Delote Jr. We are the Group 2, and we will discuss about sexual self. But before I start, allow me to say that this is for educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor, Mr. Rodan Ardines, to use this as an educational material. Understanding the self, sexual self. Sexual self concept defined as an individual's evaluation of his or her own sexual feelings and action is proposed as an important predictor of contraceptive behavior among the teenagers. It also refers to the totality of oneself as a sexual being, including positive or negative concept and feelings. Sexual self-definition comprises of three aspects: gender identity, gender role, and gender orientation. So the gender orientation is the personal sense of one's own gender, can correlate with a person's assigned sex or can differ from it. In most individuals, the various biological determinants of sex are congruent and consistent with the individual's gender identity. Gender role, also known as a sex role, is a social role encompassing a range of behavior and attitudes that are generally considered acceptable, appropriate, and desirable for a person based on that person's sex. And the last one is gender orientation. It's an enduring pattern of romantic or sexual attraction or a combination of these two persons of the opposite sex or gender, the same sex or gender, or two both sexes or more than one gender. The beginning of adolescence is marked by rapid physical changes including maturation of the reproductive system, development of different sex characteristics. Sex characteristics. Primary sex characteristics is a characteristics are present at birth and comprise the external and internal genitalia male. Sexual characteristics are the penis and the scrotum, all of which allow a male to male and deliver sperm. Secondary sex characteristics. Female primary sexual characteristics are the vagina, uterus, fallopian tube, clitoris, cervix, and ability to bear children.
Understanding the human sexual response. Each person has unique sexual response experience which are directly influenced by thoughts, fantasies, abilities, real life experience, stage of life, relationships, medications, and physical and emotional wellness. No two people are the same in how they respond sexually. Therefore, it is really important to know yourself and your body will so can be as aware and comfortable as possible with your process. This knowledge can be help enhance your sexual experiences. The sexual response cycle has four phases: the excitement, plateau, orgasm, and resolution. In the excitement stage, the body prepares for sexual activity by tensing muscle and increasing heart rate and blood pressure. In the male, blood flows into the penis, causing it to become erect. In the female, the vaginal walls become moist, the inner part of the vagina becomes wider, and the clitoris enlarges. And the plateau phase, the vagina continues to swell from increased blood flow, and the vaginal walls turn a dark purple. The woman's clitoris become highly sensitive, may even be painful to touch, and retracts under the clitoral hood to avoid direct stimulation from the penis. And the orgasm phase, it represents the peak or sexual climax or excitement, though not all men and women necessarily reach this stage. Orgasm is marked by involuntary rhythmic muscle construction throughout the body as well as sense of euphoria and feeling of tension relief. The resolution phase. During this phase, the body slowly returns to its normal level of functioning and swelled and erect body parts return to their previous size and color. This phase is marked in some by a general sense of well-being and often fatigue.
Method of contraception. Birth control, also known as contraception, is the use of the medicine, device, or surgery of prevent pregnancy. There are many different types. Some are reversible, while others are permanent. Some types can also help prevent a sexually transmitted disease. There are methods are categories into two: natural contraception and artificial contraception. Natural family planning or fertility awareness is a method of contraception where a woman monitor and record different fertility signals during her menstrual cycle to work out when she likely to get pregnant. The term artificial birth control is most frequency head is in relation to religious teaching on family planning. Many religious groups encourage the use of a natural family planning as opposed to artificial birth control, believing that use artificial contraception is contrary to God's will. Certain throughout there are also non-religious people who choose not to use artificial birth control or for control for personal, ethical, or medical reason.
Both typical and atypical sexual behavior can best be understood in terms of developmental studies. Both nature and nurture are needed to explain the entire range of human sexual behavior, and sexual therapies also require attention to both of these elements. Sexual behavior begins before puberty, and the advent of puberty brings a greater interest in sex and greater range of sexual exploration than seen in childhood, even though many people think that sex is simply natural and hence should be easy. Many people have sexual problems. Fortunately, many of these can be overcome with accurate information about sex therapy.
So our next topic is the understanding the chemistry of lust, love, and attachment. Falling in love can be a beautiful wild experience, and its rush of longing, passion, and euphoria. For those couples who remain together through the years, the rush would have been replaced by a warm, comfortable, and nurturing feelings. Anthropologist Helen Fishers of Rutgers University proposed the three stages of falling in love: the lust, attraction, and attachment. First is the lust. This stage is marked by physical attraction. You want to reduce and be reduced by your object of affection. However, will not guarantee that the couple will fall in love in any lasting way. Second is the attraction. This stage, you begin to crave for your partner presence. You feel excitement and energetic as you fantasize about the things you could do together as a couple. And the last one is the attachment. This stage, involve the desires to have lasting commitment with your significant others. At this point, you may want to get married and or have children.
The basic biology of sexual behavior. I would like to discuss the category of ontogenetic behavior. Describe the development of the behavior or structure. It maps the influences of nutrition, genes, experience, and correlation or interaction of these factors in producing behavior. Next, the evolutionary behavior. Behavior of structure by way of evolutionary history. This leads to the belief that our ancestors were hairy too. Thus our goosebumps were at the one time and defense mechanism where hairs would stand out as the cat does.
Hi, I'm Ernest Castillo and I'm discussing about STD. So what are STD? STD or sexually transmitted disease are infections that are passed from one person to another through sexual contact. They are usually spread during vaginal, oral, and anal sex. You can avoid STD by using condoms. Using condom correctly every time you have sex can help avoid STDs. Condoms lessen the risk of infections for all STDs. You can still get certain STDs like herpes, HPV from contact with your partner's skin even when using a condom.
Erogenous zone. So what is erogenous zone? Erogenous zone refer to parts of the body that are primarily receptive and increase sexual arousal when touched in a sexual manner. Erogenous zone may be classified by the type of sexual response that they generate. Many people are gently aroused when their eyelids, eyebrows, temples, shoulders, hands, arms, and hair are subtly touched. Gently touching or stroking of these zones stimulates partner during foreplay and increase the arousal level. Erogenous zone may vary from one person to another. Other common areas of the body that can be aroused easily may include the neck, thighs, abdomen, and feet. When the erogenous zones are touched, there is an expected automatic sensation. However, the quality of the sensation depends on who and how the zones are being touched.
The basic biology of sexual behavior. The biology of human sexuality includes the reproductive system and the sexual response to cycle as well as factors that affect them. The organ glands into the body that aid in the productive of a new individuals. The sexual response cycle refers to the sequence of physical and emotional changes that occur as a person become a sexually aroused and participate in a sexually stimulating activities includes intercourse and masturbation.
The diversity of sexual behavior, sexual orientation, gender, identity, and expression. Sexual behavior. Sexual behaviors are behaviors that involves parts of the body considered to be private or sexual. An example, genitals, breasts, bedlock, etc. These behaviors may be referred to as sex play, and they are normally part of growing up for many children and adolescents. They are not considered to be harmful by most experts. For more information on formative sexual behaviors throughout child and adolescence. Sexual orientation. Sexual orientation is about who you're attracted to and want to have relationships with. Sexual orientation include gay, lesbian, straight, bisexual, and inherent or immutable, enduring emotional, romantic, or sexual attraction to other people. Note: an individual's sexual orientation is independent of their gender identity. Social orientation examples: bisexual, a person who is sexually attracted to people of any sex. Bisexual, a person who is sexually attracted to people of any sex. Heterosexual, a person who is sexually attracted to people of the opposite sex. Heteronormative, the belief and assumption of heterosexuality is the normative of difficult sexual orientation for all people. Homosexual, a person who is sexually attracted to people of their own sex. Pansexual, a person who is not limited by biological sex, gender, or gender identity and sexual choice. Gender identity. Gender identity person internal and individual experience of gender. It is their sense of being a woman and man both neither or anywhere along the gender spectrum. A person's gender identity may be the same as for different from their birth assigned sex. Gender identity is fundamentally different from a person's sexual orientation. Lastly, a gender expression is how a person publicly present their gender. This can be include behavior and outward appearances as dress, hair, makeup, body language, and voice. A person choosing name and pronoun are also common ways of expressing gender.
Basic biology of sexual self. Physiological. Relates the behavior of an activity of the brain and the organs. The chemical reaction that allows hormones to trigger brain activity and the path by which brain activity controls the movement of muscles through the conductions would fall into the category. Functional. Defines or elaborates the behavior evolved in the way that it did. Within a small population of a gene, thus it that spreads by a pure accident is called a genetic self.